All right, let's see what's in store for you guys. And remember, you all, if these messages for Gemini, your sun, doesn't resonate, then always watch your moon and rising signs. You may want to do those anyway. I've had people say, "Oh, wait, those were much closer to what I'm feeling." But with this Wheel of Fortune, I like this, so you may want to watch the entire video first. The Wheel of Fortune is that karmic Wheel of Fortune is in your favor. What you're putting out there now, what you're doing, Gemini, how your life is playing out, like I said, the wheel of motion, you're more on top of the wheel than on the bottom. You're hopefully not struggling, or at least the essence is out there for you to be able to feel like, okay, I'm getting into my groove here. I'm starting to see and feel some success within myself and my life. It's interesting, the Two of Pentacles comes up out of this, and I feel like this is juggling opportunities or work you have going on. It may be that you're working 2 jobs. There is a lot of water and emotion around this particular card. So, yeah, it might be that you have 2 opportunities. It might be that you're, like I said, again, you're juggling these opportunities. You're taking the time for both of them to see which one will pay off the most. What's going to pay me the most? This would be the question is, what, first of all, really makes my heart sing? And if that particular job or project, makes your heart sing, but it's not paying the bills, then you may be juggling with a regular full-time job. I'm just giving you a scenario. So what makes my heart sing? What is going to be the biggest payoff in the future? Money-wise and the feeling of success. So you're really doing a little bit of a grounding, a juggling act here. You just are Gemini. For some of you. Let me know in the comments below. It can be family. It can be if you have children and you're working. Some of you, it's a balance act for sure. Or that you have your own interest that you want to investigate, and yet you have life. So the first 2 weeks of December. All right, sword cards. So this is really about you, Gemini, because the swords represent the air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. This would represent to me you. So you're sort of wanting to cut through the BS. Let's get to the quick. Let's get to the point. I always have fun with you guys. The winds of change may be upon you, but you're standing firmly in this particular card. This would be the first 2 weeks of December. So although it may feel like things are changing, you guys just ground. And when I say ground, you know what that means. Stay in the present moment. Don't think too far ahead. Stay in the present moment. Take a deep breath. Meditate. Listen to a meditation on YouTube. Something like that can be very helpful. Really can be. There's a 10 or 11 minute one I listen to. It's called Sitting in Your Power by Tony Stockwell. It just feels good. Excuse me, I've had tickle in my throat today. I apologize, you guys. The second card is the Ace of Swords. And the Ace represents blessings and new beginnings in and with ideas. And there's a crown on this sword. The crown has this sort of garnish around it. And that always means to me celebration, or it's awesome, or yay, it feels good. It looks like December, actually you have things going your way, Gemini, for a lot of you. Now, if you're sitting there saying, nothing's going my way, I just got out of a relationship, or I just got fired from my job, or I'm having to move because of yada, 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 or my house just flooded, or someone passed, I get that. I'm just saying you all, have to understand. I'm just saying what these particular cards represent, you can watch probably 5 or 6 tarot readers, and they may all have different messages because our life is not just one note, is it? We have different notes in our musical notes in our lives. And I'm just using that as a metaphor. But I do feel like for some of you, there is some winds of change, and you're excited about some new ideas here. Or you're being given the blessing of new ideas and hope and vision. To some of you, pay attention to your spirit guides. A lot of times we think it's our idea, and it's our guide that's given us this idea. Well, the transition card is nice. 8 of Pentacles. Yeah, you have 2 Pentacle cards. Haven't seen those a lot in these readings. You're about my 6th one. The Pentacles are money, finances, our body, our health. I always like the 8 because the 8 is a very grounded number. Stable. Financially stable. Working diligently to make things happen. For some of you Geminis, some nice things going on for this particular month to month. The World card came up. The balancing act, we do that. But out of that balancing act may come a new idea. You may decide which way to go. It looks like here, this guy's wanting to. Okay, life, come at me. I can handle you. And the page is a young dude, so sometimes they bring news too. All right. Okay, so let me look into my crystal. This is for Gemini, November 15th through December 15th. Okay, any color, any chakra color that's important for Gemini to work with or to notice. Interesting. Very clear. Well, that could be the 7th chakra. That could be the crown, spiritual wisdom, spiritual growth and learning. Wow, okay, now I'm seeing some action. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 white yellow lights, and then I'm seeing like a purple and green. Usually those represent people to me. So if you're in a group at work or an organization or a meetup or 5 people you like to get together with, there's a lot of connection, a great connection between you all. It feels good. So communication, of course, for you all is the key, and you all do that well. Any colors? Yeah, here we go with the 7th chakra. That comes up. Also aqua, that came up for one other, and purple. Aqua came up for one other sign. Aqua to me represents the sign of calm, or not the sign, but the feeling of calm, peace, relaxation. Okay. Any of you all, I just saw a visual of a thumbprint. Okay, so don't get spooked here. What it reminded me of is like, you go to the bank and you're cashing a check that possibly someone else has given you, or maybe your bank does this too. And you know how they tell you to stick your thumbprint in the black and then put it on the, mark it on the check. I don't know why that came up, but it did. So hopefully none of you are getting fingerprinted for illegal actions. So that fingerprint must mean that it could mean too, you're putting your thumbprint on a document, signed, sealing, delivered, not an actual literal thumbprint, but you're signing off on it. So that could be the other way that this comes out. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and add up the cards. We have 10, 2 is 12, 13, 14. 14 and 8 is what, 22? 22 is a master number. Love the number of 22. 2 and 2 is 4. 4 is about building your foundation, building security, Gemini. Embracing structure. Very grounding number. Very, very grounding. trees, nature, animals, those kinds of things. Very grounding essence to it. And 4 in the major arcana is the Emperor. Well, I can't tell you how many times the Emperor has come up either as the numbers adding up together or as the literal card itself. There's a lot of emperorism going on. And so this may represent too, it represents hierarchy. It represents boss, government. So it can be, there's a lot of negotiations going on right now, or let's just say talks between governments at this particular time period. So, because this has come up, probably you're the 6th reading, probably 4 out of 6. And so it would almost have to mean to me that there's a lot of, noticing what's going on, watching government talks, nations talks together, trying to, be diplomatic with each other. I say trying. Well, not every country gets along. So for you guys, it could mean that. It can also mean on a personal note that this is the government, maybe you're filing for Social Security or disability or one of those, Medicaid, I'm just saying. Or it can be like a archetypal father figure who's important to you. A boss, someone you work for. It's just feeling like a lot of these signs, and with you all, it's someone who has leadership, definite leadership abilities. The Emperor also represents the sign of Capricorn.